All right, welcome back to Lag Demon Programming. I'm Bill Westlake, and this is the compiler design course. In the previous video, we created a record type for our language, and today what we're going to do is create an enumeration type, and it's a special kind of enumeration type because it also going to allow us to pass information along with each enumerated value. And I will explain how that works as we go along here. So let's begin by creating some keywords. The style, well, let's actually begin by opening this up, and I'm going to write the style and explain it. So it's going to look like this. We're going to say, we're going to change a couple of things because in my experimenting around the way I've organized things, this doesn't quite work. We're going to change this to say record, and we're going to come down here and we're going to say enumeration, and we'll call it my enum equals, and we'll put it in these again, but this time we're going to use a pipe symbol at the beginning, and we will have a type name like this, and we'll say of, and we'll say it's of type string, and we'll end that with a semicolon, and we'll say or age of int, or, well, actually these aren't good because we won't want it to be a name. What kind of an enumeration can we make that makes more sense? We'll say something like valid is of string, and we'll say error is of type int. Why not? Just to have something. So what does this mean? Well, what it means is that an enumeration can take on one of these values. So a record takes on all of these values. It has all of these in it at one time, but an enumeration can only be one of these. It can either be a valid with a string in this case, or an error of an int. Or, well, why don't we make this, instead of valid, why don't we call it value? And we'll say the value, just to make it make a little more sense, the value is either an int or it's an error of type, and we'll call it a string. And so wherever we use my enum as a type for a value, that value can either be a value of int, so it'll have an integer value with it, or it can be an error of string, but it can't be both at the same time. That's what an enumeration is in this type. This is also an algebraic data type that's called a sum data type, and the reason for that has to do with the domains of these. In the case of a record, it's a product type because it contains all these different types. It has all the possible combinations of values that all of these can have multiplied together, the combination of them. Whereas this can only be either ints or strings. It's the sum of those two. And I can explain that more at another time if people are interested in the details of algebraic data types. But for now, what it amounts to is this record contains all of these values, and enumeration contains one of these in the OR, and that's why we use this pipe at the beginning as an OR. So we've got that test. Let's begin. Well, we've got of here, and we've got record and enumeration. We need to create those. So let's go to our lexer first, and we'll go down here to our keywords, and we'll create those. We need record, and that will return record. We need enumeration, and that will return enumeration. We need of, which will return of. Oops. And then we need our pipe symbol. And we're going to add some other symbols later, but we'll just do this, and we'll call this pipe. And we will return Oops, not pip, pipe. Then over in our parser, working our way through this, we've got our keywords here. So we need record, enumeration of, and pipe. Okay, so far so good. Now it's going to look very much like our record system here. So before we create this part, let's go ahead and go into our AST and go all the way to the bottom here. And I'm just going to take this whole record from record field down through record, copy them, paste them right here, and we'll start just changing things because it's going to work very much the same way. We'll call this enum field, and this will be enum field, and that's all then correct. We'll change this to enum. This has to be an enum field, and this has to be an enum field list, and then instead of a record we will have an enum. This will be an enum field list. This will be an enum. This will be an enum field list. Identifier. This will be enum field list. Get field list. Return field list. Except the visitor. And we probably should go ahead and fix the two visitors real quick now that we've got those in place. So here's visitor.h. This is an easy one. We just grab this, copy it, paste it, change this to enum pointer, and we will come to the we will do the pretty print once we get this other part done. So let's go back to our parser now. Let's go up to our record. We can again just grab these, and I'll make these names first. This is going to be, oops, actually we got to create the types up here. So we've got the types already in there. Let's make this enum field, and we'll call it enum field. An enum field list is going to be an enum field list, and this will be an enum pointer. And because enum is a keyword, I'm going to call this enumeration here. So we've got those in place. Then we can add these types here. We already got those in place, so this is going to be changed to enum field, enum field list, enum field list, enum record. Okay, good. Now we can cruise right on down here, and instead of copying those, I'm just going to write them. It's pretty easy. We've got enum record because things are going to look a little different anyway. So an enum record, oh, we need an enum field first. So an enum field is going to be very similar, but it's going to be a type. Oh, actually, it's going to be a pipe, followed by a type ident, followed by a semicolon, or it'll be a pipe, followed by a type ident, followed by the keyword of, followed by a type, followed by a semicolon. and that's our field. So then we've got an enum field list, which is going to be an enum field or an enum field list followed by an enum field. And then finally, we're going to have our enumeration, which is going to be this. It's going to be the word, it's going to be the keyword enumeration, followed by a type ident. And while I'm here, I'm going to change record to record. Did we add record in the, did we add record over here? Yes, we did. Record. And I'm pretty sure we added it up at the top. Well, we'll find out if we didn't. So I want to change that to record, and we have to fix it in our file too. Followed by a type ident. Followed by an assign. Followed by an obrace. Followed by an enum field list. Followed by a cbrace. And that's all an enumeration is. So then we can start filling these in. We can come down here. We can go that $$ equals new enum. And now we're going to have to turn that type ident into an identifier, a new identifier. It's going to be $2, comma, types, : enum. And then we need to pass in $5, which is our list. And that one's good. So we know what an enum field is. We've already got it. So we go $$ equals $1. And then we go $$ pointer pushback $2. We've done this before. For just the enum field, which is the first one, darn it, we want to go $$ equals new enum field list, followed by $$ pointer pushback $1. And for an enum field, here it's a little more tricky. We need to go $$ equals a new enum field, new identifier, $2, comma, types, : enum, no, types, : So, okay, let me explain here. If we have a pipe followed by an ident and a semicolon, there's no data associated with that. We can still have a regular enumeration with where the names are what is important and there's no data associated, or we can intermix them. We don't have to have a data after it. So in this case, it's going to be type of unit followed by an enum field, types, : unit. Is that what I did? Yes. Semicolon. And then for here, we're going to say $$ equals new enum field, new identifier. And again, we're going to go $2, but this time we're going to go, this is $2, 3, 4. $4 is the type, and comma $4 there as well, so that we have the type within our enum field, but we also have it associated with that identifier that we created. And then all we have to do is go up here and add where we have a record. We just go here and go enumeration and say that $$ equals $1. And let's go now to pretty print. Well, let's make sure this compiles. Go over here to the terminal. I'm going to build this clean. See if I made any mistakes. We got a warning. It looks like we may have type declaration record, type enum record. I made a mistake. Wrong. This should have been enumeration. Let's try that again. Oh, what'd I do wrong this time? Enumeration $sign equals $1. Enumeration. Expected unqualified ID before enum. Huh? See, did I do things right here? There's that enumeration, and then we have, oh, this should have been enumeration. Okay. What did we do wrong now? Type has not been declared. Enum field. Enum field. Error type has not been declared. Oh, type. It's types. Did I make that mistake anywhere else? Types. It's easy to make typos in doing this. This should be an easy one. Put the semicolon in the wrong place. Type has not been declared. Another one of these. Types, not type. Types. All right, now it should compile. Pretty print. Oh, yeah, okay. Because pretty print is not yet. Okay, now we have to fix pretty print. Because we put that in the header file and we didn't come down here and do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this one for the record. Put it here. Change this to enum pointer, and they're identical with the exception of we're going to go here and go quote this space, put a little pipe in front of it, and everything else should be the same. It should compile now. Nope. Undefined reference to vtable enum. Accept visitor. Oh, and one more thing. AST.cpp, we have to have that one. So this is the one for record. We need to have the visitor call for enum, and all we have to do is change this to enum. There it is. Make, and it made. So now we can go .slant game .slant fungin test.fng, and there they are. They pretty printed out. So it's now compiling that enumeration that I just created value in error string, and it knows about those. So we're about 20 minutes into this video. We now have a record type and an enumeration type. In the next video, we're going to create some ways of specifying the actual types some additional types for this. And those additional types are going to be our list type and our tuple type, which we've already got as a thing that we can put values into, but these would be with values or something. We need a way to say that we want a list type in some location. So we're going to have to add that into our type system so that we can specify list type, and the same thing with the tuple. And the thing about a tuple is it can have different types in it, so its structure will look a little different. And we'll create that in the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.